Hello everyone, so this is our demonstration for our gradients grayscale project that we will be doing. It's the first project that really enforces value, which is one of the elements of design. And value is going to be the relative lightness or darkness of the surface, and the value halfway between the two extremes of white and black is called middle gray. And as you can see here, I marked everything out. So we're gonna have the blackest black over here, the middle gray in the middle, and then the white at the end. And what we're going to try to accomplish is to get a smooth transition across by incrementally adding white. Because white is such a reactive color, especially when you're using black, which is white's complementary color, it's easiest to start with the darkest dark and then work towards the lightest light. As you can see here, I've mapped out 12 squares. You want an odd number just so you get a more even transition, but I like to have an extra square just in case I mess up on some of the values. And the layout of this is just an inch, and it's pretty much 2 by 1 inches squares you can just do with a ruler. And I find it easiest to have a square type brush just so you can really get up to the line and get a clean square. And you just need your paints, your white and your black wash, a cup of water. It doesn't really matter whatever your preference of palette is. Me as an oil painter, I like to use just wax paper, just taped to a surface. And also as an oil painter, I like to work on the wall, which you totally don't have to do. It's just my preference. A lot of these projects are just going to be figuring out what works for you in an effective and efficient way. So we're going to start by adding the blackest black. Have your first black, and then so we're going to incrementally add some white, not too much, a bit of water. The main takeaway from this project is pretty much training your eye to kind of realize transition, because that's going to be really important. And as you can see here, these values are a little too close together, so I'm going to just add a little bit more white. And as you can see, I left this little line here. That's just for eventually when I get the entire square painted, I can come back and get a really nice kind of blend with each other. See, and that's it's faint, but we're going to keep working. So add more white to our black. And another big takeaway from this project is going to develop craftsmanship. I want a cleanliness, some sort of professionalism. Just make sure that you don't rush it, because art is one of those things that you really can't rush, and when you do, it's obvious, and it makes for a really rough critique. Okay, and continue to add more white. And I don't expect you guys to be running through this as quickly as I am. I've done this many, many times, and I have made many, many mistakes. And it just comes down to finding out what works best for you, because everyone's different, everyone's brain works differently. You just gotta find your niche. And just another thing, if you have a hard time really getting up to the line and getting clean edges, one thing that I'd recommend is if you use masking tape, and if you just made a border of masking tape around these, you can get a very clean edge with not as much time that you have to put into it. For me, I've done this a lot, so I can really get up to that line without using the masking tape, but This is an intro level course, so if you struggle with straight lines, masking tape would probably be a good way to solve that problem. And you see this transition happening, it's exciting. Getting somewhere. Continue to add some more white. And remember, again, whenever you have two values that are too close to each other, you can always come back with the brush that you're using here, so you can add a little more of a tint to whichever value that's too close to each other. This is our middle gray, probably one of the most important values. And we'll be discussing this more in class, and I'll have PowerPoints for you guys to look at, as well as some readings. Value's a little too close, so we're going to come back and add some more white. And just beware, accidents do happen. That's the thing about art. Kind of messed this line up right here, but that's alright. There we go. That's a nice middle gray. Again, add more white. And you don't necessarily have to start with the black to the white. I just find it easier to work from the darkest dark to the whitest white. Because again, you also have to consider cleaning your brush. If you start with the white to white, if you start from white to black, because again, white is such a reactive color to everything, especially its complementary color, which is black. So just if you do decide to start with the white, just be careful. white. These values are a little too close together. You can't get the transition, but if we're gonna get to white in the next 3 tonal values, then we're probably gonna add just a kiss more of the white to this one. And at this last stage, because remember how reactive white is, I would clean my brush just to get most of the black out of it. And then come in with more white. And I like just writing these in, that way it helps me stay organized. Again, it's just personal preferences and what you find works best for you. There we go, and again, more white. And this is probably going to be one of the most challenging parts of this assignment, because that's way too close to each other, so more and more white. And this comes into a part where, again, like really training your eye to see a transition. Like you can see a transition here, but there's no way that the next tonal value is going to be the whitest white, so I'm still going to add more white to this guy. you have a pretty square. Now for the final part. So I would clean my brush thoroughly for this, so you get that really, really stark white. And there you have it. Now again, I'm not expecting you guys to be doing it this quickly. I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times, so I found out what's worked best for me. I hope I have provided sufficient guidance for you guys, but this is the overall product that I want from you. Here's, after seeing my like the borders on the outside, I kind of wish I did use masking tape, so that way when I took off the masking tape, I would have super clean cut edges. And remember, I just had this extra square here just in case I messed up. And if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to ask them during our Zoom meetings, or if you want to come by my office hours. They're on the syllabus, or email, whatever you guys feel comfortable doing. I know these are pretty crazy times, and I don't want anyone to do anything they're not comfortable doing, obviously. So feel free to contact me if you have any questions. We'll go over this in detail more in class. And yeah, thank you.